So you can actually place her facing that way. Yeah. The camera. No, no, no. It's okay. Thank you.
Hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? This is Akichida with the Unicorn Riot. We're live here in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's a night of remembrance, remembering all the boarding school survivors of Native American children. Here's some drummers.
Two straight, two sides. Thanks, yo. I told you this was gonna be hot on the bar. It's hot, yeah. He's still learning.
Yes, you can.
Aren't those nuts? Hi, how are you? Very long time no see. I haven't given you
I'm trying to not tell her story no more. Like, it's kind of my but I love talking about it.
Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. I work for NAPS. Sorry. I work for NAPS, the organization that put this on. We are a big supporter of Youth Corn Rights, as well as the Green Beer stuff.
Well, this is a night of remembrance in St. Paul, Minnesota. Remembering all the Native American children taken from their tribes and assimilated. I heard a lot of stories from my grandparents about everything that happened. It's pretty crazy.
Who do you want our one-pager on our bill?
Yeah, sure.
What's your name?
Akichita?
Agichita?
Akichita, yeah.
Agichita? I know I'm saying it wrong. Say it.
Akicita. Akichita.
Agichita. Still fucking it up. Teresa.
Nice to meet you. Well, pretty good.
Teresa, right here.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Easy.
Good job, fellas.
Because I'll include them.
Yeah, you're good. Here, let me fold it up and put it in your pocket.
I'm gonna show it off.
Okay.
All better now? Yes, that feels like no, high five. No, high five, fist bump. No. Can I eat some of your chicken? No.
Do you know what the lineup's like?
Yes. Sandy Whitehawk, our president, she'll go first. And then I believe she'll introduce the two who will do an honor song. And then Jim LaBelle, he's the fourth gentleman over here, will end up, he's our first vice president on NABS, and he'll speak. And then they'll bring out the jingle dress dancers, and then the offerings, and then the something else in the middle.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Got like 5 speakers.
5 speakers.
So Sandy Whitehawk is...
The president, she's right here with the, do you know who Deborah Parker is? Our CEO. So right here, she has the black glasses on with the braids. and then there's Deborah Parker and Sam, the three. So she's the president, she's the CEO, and he is the deputy CEO of NABS, the National Native American Boarding School Building Coalition.
Right over here. Oh, the one right down from the meat store?
Yeah, 2 blocks down up there.
On the little corner store?
Yeah, they're in the line.
Good evening, relatives. Hello, relatives. I'll start all over. Yeah, here we go. That feels better. That feels more normal. All right. Good evening, relatives. How are you doing? Are you excited to be here in the cold? Well, let's hear that we are here, still here, happy, and we are proud to be Indigenous. Ow, ow! All right. Nancy. I got a little thing in my throat all of a sudden. We're going to acknowledge our relatives who came before us, those that are here today, and those who are yet to come. And as we stand here in Dakota and Anishinaabe territory, tonight is a celebration, an acknowledgement that those of our ancestors who suffered unspeakable atrocities, that we are still here. Not only are we still here, but we're still here and strong in our values as Indigenous people coming together for this night of recognition of our relatives. So I'm having my your tea is better, yes, thank you. Having my relative Nancy Bordeaux offer us a prayer. Nancy.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here to help and to offer up a prayer for all the families and everybody that's here this evening in honor of the Boarding School Coalition and those who have gone before us. I'd like to say this prayer for healing and for hope and liberation from genocide and oppression. I truly believe that our healing is a red road. I ask Creator to come and help us tonight, to come and be here with us, and to come and touch in each and every one of us and our hearts. And in touching us give us healing for our health and for the pain that we may carry in our hearts or in our bodies. Ask for healing to remove all that pain, all the intergenerational trauma that we carried from womb to womb for generations. That today this gathering is very healing for all the people that are here together. Our prayers are that much more powerful. Ha tukasha wa kantaka. Htayatiki la wopila tanka ungeni chapiksto. Le tukashila wichozani wa unshila. Daku ehani tekia ungaki papike. Daku ahe historical trauma ehapike he. Na ija he boarding school. Tukashila onkiapi, chila wana oyate lila ota tunkashila, chanteki tunkashila, yokshichapi tunkashila, na ija huk na gichola manipi tunkashila, chaleya hipi na tunkashila, oni chapi ki hana hipi na dueki yuhalena, chante epa tampiki tunkashila, hechums e tunkashila, yushkia iopia a hipi te tunkashila. Wopila tango ngeni chapi sto le taku boarding school coalition e apiki ha le na wo chutanka e chumpi tukashla cha wo chutanka e chumpi ki hana le na dueki yu ha le hipiki e hani taku ija ha wons be ota yu happy toka ki hana ija cha hana tukashla wana iglus papik de hana yu kapa pik de tukashla Chahewo Platanko Geni Chapiksto. Ha, Mitakio Yasi.
Pilamiae, Nancy, for speaking to the spirit on our behalf. So you can all have a seat. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Sandy Whitehawk. Mitaki api chantewa shteo nape chiuzapi. Sichangu lakote hemataha. I'm from the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota. Moved here in this to the cities around July 2003 to be married to George McCauley, who's sitting over there. Those of you who are long-standing community members know George and probably wondered, where did he meet her? It was at his first conference that he met me. So the rest is, we'll tell you another time. Right now we are going to hear a song from Spirit Boy, who's going to set the tone for us as we go into our program. But before we do that, I do want to just say we have our Southern relatives here, and we'll be talking about this more, but they came here to help us remember our relatives and celebrate healing. So it's a special time, I think. I've not seen this before here. I'm sure we've done it in the cities, but I don't recall seeing it. I'm just so excited that our relatives are here. Thank you for being here. Go, Spirit Boy. Thank you. A few things that we need to think about. What do we do with our garbage that we have? There's a garbage can way over there. If you could please put your cups and anything else that you need to dispose of, that would be wonderful. And for a press that may be here, there he is. Okay. What we're asking of you tonight is to not take any photos of our relatives who may be having a hard time. As they're processing their experiences, no pictures of people crying, no pictures that you are typically told that make good press. We don't want that. Thank you very much. We're going to honor that time that they're having by being respectful and not invading it, okay? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. What else? So anyone else, that goes actually for anyone else, any of our community members or who are taking pictures as well, let's be mindful and respectful. You can take pictures, but be respectful of our relatives. I want us all to recognize the Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition staff who has put this evening together. So if they would raise their hand, jump up and down and say, here we are. That's you too, Stephen. One of many events that we're going to have. So thank you, you guys. You've worked really hard, and this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful event. So we're going to introduce to you at this time Dr. Amy Fish and Nancy Bordeaux again. Please come forward. Oh, wait. No, don't come forward. Psych. We're just seeing how dedicated you are as soon as your name's heard. Run and help. But they're going to, you're like, hi, you're Amy Fish, I say. Okay, so Dr. Amy Fish and Nancy Bordeaux are here as support for those of you who may need a soft and gentle support, a hand. You maybe want to have some sage or sweetgrass. They'll be here to take care of you in that way. Oh, and I should also mention that the Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition board is here as well. And so board members, will you jump up and down, raise your hand, and say, here we are? Oh, 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 oh. They're here from Pine Ridge. We have Pueblo from New Mexico. We have Alaskan, all the way from Alaska, and Michigan. Woo-hoo! Now, I'm sorry I have to follow this and make sure, otherwise I'll be making stuff up and we'll be here till midnight. Okay, yeah, this is what they do. Thank you. See, I told them, you're going to hand me this and I'm still going to need help. So at this time, Nancy Bordeaux and Dr. Amy Fish are going to come up and say a few words. Nancy and I have done a lot of work in the community, and Nancy does a lot of work nationally, a lot of it in the area of healing. So which of you ladies would like to go first?
All right, hello. Can everyone hear me okay? That's good. Louder. Okay, my name is Amy Fish. I'm from the Onondaga Nation, which is one of the Haudenosaunee tribes in New York. I was asked to come share a few words with you today about how trauma affects the body in my role as a licensed psychologist. So one other important thing that you should know about me is that I am a terrible cook, and oh, it's still not loud enough. Is that better? Is that better? It sounds so loud to me. Okay, up there, like that. Okay. So again, my name is Amy Fish. I'm from the Onondaga Nation, which is one of the Haudenosaunee tribes in New York. And I was asked to come speak here today to talk about how trauma affects the body in my role as a licensed psychologist. So one other important thing that you should know about me is that I am a terrible cook. And right outside my kitchen was a very sensitive and persistent smoke alarm that would go off whenever I used to try to cook. I would open the window and try to get the smoke out. I would turn the fan on and even take the batteries out, and somehow this thing was still going off. So how does a smoke alarm relate to trauma? Well, our brains are all hardwired with an emergency alert system that's designed to protect us from danger. For example, if you're walking in the woods and a mountain lion jumps out at you, you don't really have to think about how to react. You just do. Your body just saves you. And so when people grow up without trauma, their body reacts like a smoke alarm. When there's a fire, it goes off and it alerts them to danger, and they're able to get out and protect themselves. But when we're experiencing, or when we're exposed to, especially repeated early childhood trauma, our body reacts more like my smoke detector. It goes off all the time for no reason. And so when our brain is trying to protect us in that way, over time, that can lead to things like chronic fatigue or illnesses, and also ruin our relationships. But the good news is that we can start to heal from that today. And one of the most simple things that we can do to try to repair that or rebuild that relationship is to build what we call a mindfulness practice in our life. So mindfulness is just being present in our bodies, and whatever that looks like, non-judgmentally, and just being present. There's a lot of different ways that that could look. Like, for example, right now we're standing on Mother Earth and we feel the ground beneath our feet. It can be as simple as just taking time to notice that, or taking time to pay attention to your breath and your breathing, or and when you put out your morning tobacco, really just taking time to feel what that tobacco feels like in your hand. Where I come from, we have what we call the Ganahanyo, which is the Thanksgiving address. And so when we gather in groups, we take time to talk about, like, give thanks that everyone arrived safely, and we kind of go through each part of creation and give thanks for each part of creation and everything that it does for us. And then lastly, we bring our minds together as one, right? We call it coming together as a good mind when we gather. And our ancestors knew that this was important for us, and they knew that this is what we needed to be healthy and well. And so how can mindfulness be helpful is just, first of all, reconnecting to yourself, right? Trauma disconnects us from our own bodies and our own body experiences. So just taking time to simply be present in your body is healing. But then also, over time, as you build that relationship, if you want to work with somebody like a counselor or a spiritual advisor or a mentor to help you figure out when your alarm system is going off because there's actually a fire, or just because Amy's cooking, you can learn to differentiate between the two. And again, my name is Amy. I'll be here if you have any other questions about this. I'd be happy to answer them. If you need any extra support today, I'd be happy to chat. Or if you have a story that you want to share, I'd love to hear it. So thank you, Nueha, to the National Native American Boarding School Coalition, for Healing Coalition, for offering this opportunity for me to share this information with you today. Nueha.
Thank you, Dr. Amy. I'm glad to have met you. You're someone that sounds like I could come and talk to. So thank you for being here with us tonight. And at this time, I'm going to call back my relative, Nancy, to share a few words and sing a song.
Hamitaki yapi le ta chanklutu imi na si changla kote hamacha roswa satakora mataha. Good evening, everybody. My name is Her Red Road Woman Ta Chunkalutawi. I am Isi Chungala Lakota from Roseau, South Dakota. My English name is Nancy Bordeaux. I am honored to be here tonight, and just want to say that I worked in this community for 22 years on historical trauma and recovery. I am the matriarch of my family, as traditionally it is in the Oceti Sakowin Nation. And most of my work that I have done is really from my heart, because I am a boarding school survivor and come from a line of boarding school survivors that didn't survive. And so I just want to say Wopila Tanka for even being able to stand in front of you today. I want to share a song with you, and the song is in English. I made it in English, and the song is about 500 years that we've been under genocide and oppression. But today we are also healing. It's a new time today. Something has shifted in the winds. Imperial invasion, colonization, genocidal politics. seas manifest destiny, a great imposition on us all. Murdered our men, women, and children, babies and elders too. A high, hey, a high, a high, hey. Genocide through boarding schools on families, traditions, culture to kill the Indian, open hunting season on us too. A high, a high, a high, hey, a high, hey, way high, hey, a high, hey, way high, hey, hey. 500 years of genocide laid our people's hearts on the ground. We are strong, we survived. The grandfathers from the Four Winds say, the time to change is upon us now. There is change in the wind. For winds of change upon us now. Pick your hearts up off the ground. We are strong, we survived. The time for change is upon us now. Hear my people, we are strong, spiritual, beautiful, intellectual too. Hey, hi, hey, hi, way, hi, hey, hey, hi, hey, way, hi, hey, hey, hi, hey, way, hi, hey, hey. Take your place within our circle. We are strong, warrior nation, revitalization, prayer and ceremony. And the next song is about the many red roads that we have walked, the spiritual road that we have walked with the pipe. We ask for healing and we ask for life. Chankuluta otamawani eloyo tunkashilaya pila maya yelo heya heya chanupakile yahaya chewaki yelo tunkashilaya tunkashilaya pila maya yelo hey ya hey yo way ya hey hi ya way ya hey yo chankuluta tamawani yelo yo tukashilaya pila maya yelo hey ya hey yo ha mitakuyo yasi.
Thank you, Nancy. And Nancy, and just to remind you, Nancy and Dr. Amy are here to offer support, and they're over here. We have some designated chairs where you can sit with them. At this time, we're going to introduce you to our beautiful and strong leader of the Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition. She comes to us from the Tulela people in Washington. And she lives the example she's an example of what we're told to live with and walk with and work with, and that's having our head and our heart in alignment. And remembering that in our heart is where all wisdom lays. And then we can work with what the Creator gave us in our intellect. And it takes that kind of leader to understand and live within our values as indigenous people to do that. And so at this time, I'm going to ask our CEO to please come forward and address you and welcome again to our territory. She's been here to work before, but that's all she does. She get off the plane, went to the hotel, went to work. went back to the hotel, and then back to the plane and went home. So this is the first time she's been out to see our beautiful community here in St. Paul, Minneapolis. So, Deb Parker.
Hey, CM, Tigweed Seed. I was the one going around with a smudge. So you're all healed. There you go. Oh, this one right here, he really healed. Stand up. This one right here, if you want to learn how to smudge, right here. It's so beautiful to be here. Tigweed Seed, thanking each and every one of you for being part of the sacred circle. And I don't want to take too much time, but just to let you know that you are loved. Before you were born, you were loved. And it is our sacred responsibility to be here as Indigenous peoples, as the team from the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition. It's our goal, it's our mission to make sure that you understand how important and how loved and how needed you are. And that's our goal. That's our mission. And we are here tonight to remind our ancestors that they are loved as well. That we are picking up that sacred responsibility. That we will be a good relative to Mother Earth and to this work, this deep healing work that involves truth, justice, and healing. So I won't take up too much time, but just on behalf of my people of the Stohobish Nation and the Tulalip tribes, Lummi, Yaqui, Apache, for my family, my ancestors, just thanking each and every one of you for being here to walk the sacred walk with us and to honor our loved ones. And that is why we're here, to honor those who never made it home from boarding school. Our work is to help bring them home in some way, in some light, in some fashion. So tonight, it begins. This healing begins for us, and it is only the beginning. Because as our fearless leader, NAB's leader, James LaBelle said, the time is now. The time is now. We cannot wait any longer. It is time to bring our relatives home, to find the children that went missing from the United States boarding schools that operated to try and eliminate our community and our people. So we are here for justice. We are here mostly out of love and respect for our ancestors and our relatives and the sacred way of life. So uti gwiticha, thanking each and every one of you from being here from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you to our staff, to our board members, to our drummers and singers, to our dancers, to Mother Earth for the medicines that she brings us each and every day, and to each and every one of you. We pray for your communities at home, and we pray that light enters into your heart, into your spirit, so that we can do the sacred work. ACM, thank you. I'm going to introduce at this time Miss Teresa Sheldon. She flew in with me from the Tulalip tribes, and she is our policy director for NABS, and she has a proclamation. She worked with the incredible Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and we're so blessed to have a leader in the state's capital here. So thank you, and I'll turn it over to Miss Teresa Sheldon.
Tigweed Seed, ACM. Go ahead, give her a round of applause. Yes, it's okay. Haslahale, Teresa Sheldon Seed Sta, Tualchud Duflalep, Tigweed Seed. I raise my hands to each and every one of you who are here tonight. I say, Tigweed Seed, thank you so much for bringing your heart, for bringing your energy, for bringing your strength. We need you now more than ever. We are here to acknowledge the history of our people that we have always known, that has never been talked about, and that is not in the history book. We are here for this moment because it's our stories. It's who we are. And to address the genocide that continues and has happened to us as Native people, to our children, that they don't even know their names. We don't even know where they're buried. Our children deserve justice, now more than ever before.
So does anyone here, by raise your candle, if you know HR 544 S2907? Does anyone know that bill? The Truth in Healing Commission on Indian Boarding School Policy Act. It's in Congress now. We're asking Congress to pass this bill to do and provide, first, acknowledgement of the atrocities that has happened to us, and second, to actually create a commission that will then put together a report of the knowledge, where our children are, who the children were, because we don't even have the numbers. So we need your help contacting Congress. We need your help pressing this bill. We need your help saying that we demand the truth and honesty. And with that, today we get to stand outside the office of the first Native American woman, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. Yeah. It's okay to admit Peggy Flanagan is a badass, and I'm just gonna say that, for reals. And so her office has been amazing to work with, and they have provided a proclamation. And so this proclamation that we stand outside of her office is acknowledging the state of Minnesota, a proclamation. For over 150 years, the United States pursued, embraced, or permitted a policy of forced assimilation of American Indian, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian people through the federal Indian boarding school system. And whereas between 1819 to 1969, the federal Indian boarding school system was expansive, consisting of a minimum of 408 federal Indian boarding schools, comprising of over 431 specific sites across 37 states and then territories, including 21 schools in Alaska and 7 schools in Hawaii. And whereas the area known today as Minnesota had 23 Indian boarding schools, 21 which were directly funded or supported by state or federal resources, and all of which directly impacted the children and subsequent generations of the 11 sovereign tribal nations that share geography with Minnesota, as well as tribal nations across the United States. And whereas the creation of the federal Indian boarding school system was part of a broader policy aimed at acquiring collective territories and severing the cultural and economic connection between Indian tribes, Alaska Native villages, the Native Hawaiian community, and their territories. And whereas the assimilation of Indian children through the federal Indian boarding school system was part of the broader goal of Indian territorial dispossession, stealing of our lands, it's like hashtag land back. In service of the expansion of the United States, with assimilation eventually becoming an objective of federal policy and in of itself. And whereas the removal and the placement of these children in the boarding school system led to the breakup of Native families and the erosion of the American Indian tribes, Alaska Native villages, and the Native Hawaiian community. And whereas the death of the children while under the care of the federal government or federally supported institutions is a tragedy and a trauma long felt by the American Indian tribes, Alaska Native village, and the Native Hawaiian community, but has for too long been unknown or acknowledged by dominant society. And whereas the state of Minnesota is committed to educating, raising awareness, and supporting reconciliation efforts to ensure that the tragic history and ongoing legacy of Indian boarding schools and the children who died while attending these institutions are never forgotten. Now, therefore, Tim Walz, Governor of Minnesota, hereby proclaims Friday, September 30th, 2022 as Day of Remembrance for the children who died while attending the United States Indian Boarding School. Who we vote for matters. Representation matters. Our truth matters. ACM Teaguid Seed for being here with us tonight.
Thank you, Teresa, for reading that. Isn't that exciting that we have that in place? That's just the beginning. Just the beginning, you guys. Next year, we'll be here again, recognizing and honoring our relatives. I just said that we'll be doing this again next year. And it'll grow, and more of our relatives will come out because, you know, some of our relatives still are afraid to speak what happened to them. They're still carrying shame. Or they don't know. By coming out and getting connected is what will bring them healing. At this time, we're going to have our relative from Alaska come and share a few words. Mr. Jim LaBelle. Oh, he's so pitiful. He doesn't even have a blanket. He's got a towel and instead. You're from Alaska, man. Oh, he's not used to it. It's Minnesota cold. I know it's a little different. All right, my friend, Mr. James LaBelle.
My Inupiaq name is Akpayuk. Can you say Akpayuk? Means fast runner. Yeah, not anymore. But my wife Susan and I are both from the Inuit family in Alaska. But I want you to know that many of our Alaska Eskimos, Indians, and Aleuts are also with you in spirit. Many of them hopefully will see this streaming program, but many of them spent quite a few years in boarding schools also. I am a boarding school survivor. I spent 10 years in boarding school from 1955 to 1965 in 2 BIA boarding schools, Wrangell Institute and Mount Edgecombe. Over the years, I have seen so many of my friends and relatives who went to boarding schools with me in other boarding schools across America. They didn't do very well. Many of them committed suicide. Many of them died on the streets. Many more died or are still in prison today. Many of our children are in foster care in the white system. And we need to start looking at the root causes of these kinds of things that we're all facing together. And we need to acknowledge that boarding school was a major contributor to that. So I bring warm wishes, although I'm cold, from Alaska, and I'm so happy and thankful to have been part of this, the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition, and we wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Run fast. Back to your chair. Oh, let's encourage him. All right. Thank you. I know that you mentioned all the things that have been a legacy of boarding school. There's several here tonight who I know work in child welfare. And I always say that we can't speak about child welfare unless we tell the history of boarding school first. And I think more and more of our people who've been working within our community, our non-Native relatives, are starting to wake up a little bit and are starting to understand. And I have to believe that part of that is when Kamloops in Canada was announced. It really took the lid off of many people to start talking. It's almost as if that's when all those prayers were said by those little ones, the ones in middle school, and they said the average age is about between 14 and 17 that they left. And I have to believe that as they laid there at night, when I've heard other boarding school experiences, they talked about how children cried at night, cried themselves to sleep, and even willed themselves to not be here anymore. And I know that those who were taught to pray before they were taken said prayers. And I believe those prayers are really starting to come to fruition. And we have a great healing, I believe, that has started here. So at this time, I am going to invite all our boarding school survivors to come forward and stand. We have to be able to have the, can I have like an arena director? Where's Damon? There he is. So have the boarding school survivors come out and stand there so that, yeah. So can you just guide them when they start coming out? So all of you who are boarding school survivors, I know you're going to be kind of shy, but if you would just go stand by Damon. He's going to stand out here and show you where you can stand. And at this time, we want to see you, we want to acknowledge you, and we want to, our jingle dress dancers came to offer their prayers for your healing. And if you have difficulty standing for any length of time, we'll get a chair. So can some of our helpers make sure that people, maybe Jim could get a chair and Susie should have a chair. Any other relatives who are boarding school survivors, please come out. Even if you think to yourself, well, my experience wasn't so bad, it doesn't matter. You still went through a separation from your family and from your community. And we want to honor you. We want to nurture you with a song. And our jingle dress dancers, can you please come forward? At this time, Thorne and Joaquin, will you please come forward? Huh? Okay. And we're going to set a chair for those who did not make it home from boarding school. We're going to be thinking of them. Where'd they? So jingle dress dancers, we're going to have a memorial song first, and then we'll let you know when it's time for you to go out and dance. Yeah, okay, just stand over here. Yeah, stand right there. So for those of you who are sitting here during this, you can say prayers for your relatives who you know have been through boarding school. You can think of all of our relatives who did not make it home from boarding school. That is the power that we have as a people, is coming together. And you heard our chief speak of when we put our mind and our heart together, it's how we make things better for those yet to come.
O metake tokialak chi wopila chi chapalo yuha chante washte na pe chuza papalo. Diane Yahib, my relatives, first and foremost, I thank you for this time and greet you with a heartfelt handshake. It's an honor to be here, to be called upon in such a critical topic. These songs that we're asked to render, the first two, the first song will be an encouragement song. It's asking Creator, Grandfather Creator, to give us strength as a collective and as a singular person. And again, on this day, we ask for strength. The next song that we'll go into will be a memorial song to memorialize our relatives that were taken away generations ago during that 70-plus year period when they attempted to get rid of us, to kill the Indian, save the man. We're not supposed to be here. And in that memorial song, it's going to give you that strength and guidance that we've been taught from our ancestors. Again, we're not supposed to be here speaking our language, and we're not supposed to be here singing our songs. We're not supposed to be here with our chanchega, with our drum, and we're not supposed to be here with our ceremony. So take strength in that. Be proud that we're still here. At this time, if you could rise, if you're able. After that, we'll go into the jingle dress dance for healing for our relatives. Hey, chumse, aloha waji.
Thank you. Thank you, Thorne and Joaquin and Damon, for singing that song for us. At this time, I would like to bring our jingle dress dancers forward. For our non-native relatives who may be joining us, this dance is a healing dance. And there's a protocol to when you become a jingle dress dancer. This healing dance came from a dream, an Anishinaabe family. The daughter was very, very sick and her father had a dream. And they say it originated right here in Minnesota. And in that dream, the movement was given and the cones were given, and it was supposed to be used to heal disease and hurts in the wounds of the mind. So it was with this thought that these dancers have come and brought their medicine today to dance and for our relatives here. So ladies, when you dance, you can go all the way around the, okay, so at this time, Spirit Boy, we have to make sure we get the right song. So during this song, relatives, be thinking about those relatives of yours that you know that still need healing. Think and pray for our relatives who are out here in the center. And think and acknowledge those who went before, the ones who didn't make it home. Okay, so let's put our minds and our hearts together during this song and use the energy that we have as a healing energy. All right, are we ready? Go ahead, Nation. All right, thank you. Let's hear that indigenous way of acknowledgement.
We're gonna do one more.
One more song, yes. All right. These nations needing.
Good.
Thank you, Spirit Boy, and thank you, Jingle Dress Dancers, for being here. You guys want to go shake their hands? Go shake the survivors. We're going to come out and shake our relatives' hands. The Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition has also gifted all our relatives. We want them to know that they are loved, and speaking directly to you, our boarding school survivors, you are loved and you are not forgotten. And also at this time, I would like to invite children to come out and choose a flower to give to an elder that's sitting here in this row. So could our children please come out and pick a gift to give to an elder? Any children, please come forward. Thank you. Go ahead and pick a flower. Pick a flower and give it to one of the grandpas or grandmas that are sitting there. And it's okay if they get more than one flower. Just another way to acknowledge you is our children. We're grateful that today our children are not experiencing what the elders who they are gifting, that they know that they are loved. And thank you for doing this gentle gift for our dear relatives. I want to thank you all for coming out and nurturing our relatives in this way. Thank you. All right. So can we help our relatives with the chairs so that they can return to their seats? You get some helpers for that, please. They can. Let's give an acknowledgement to our relatives, our boarding school survivors. We're all here because of that. And then somebody pick up, there's a shell out there yet, if someone could grab that. Nab's helper. Oh, someone's gonna get it. All right, at this time, Sam, I have on my agenda Sam's going to, but I guess I will. We're very grateful. We're very grateful to have our Southern relatives here to help us celebrate, acknowledge, and honor our relatives. So at this time, I'm going to introduce our Deputy CEO of Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition, Samuel Torres. He is here with his community. This is going to be a celebration acknowledgement.
Lasso Kamati, thank you. Piali no chime nano toka Samuel ni meshika iwan ni nawa. Good evening, relatives. My name is Sam Torres. I'm Meshika and Nawa, and on my mother's side, I'm also Irish and Scottish. I'm the Deputy CEO for the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition. It is a deep honor to be with you all tonight, this evening, to share this night of honoring, this night of remembrance for boarding school survivors and those who never made it home. we are here to offer our songs, our dances with you all in community. In our tradition, our dances, they are also our flowers. We call them our flores, and our flowers, just like the beautiful ofrenda, the offering, the community offering space where community members have brought photographs of their relatives, of boarding school survivors who have brought flowers in dedication to those loved ones. We are also bringing our flowers in the form of dance, in the form of songs. So we are honored to be able to share that with you in every occasion, whether it be when we are celebrating or grieving or in mourning. Our dances, our songs, our flores y cantos are always with us. And so we're honored to share that with you. It's an honor for us to be here with you. So with that, Las Kamati, thank you so much.
Thank you.
everybody. We're currently at a night of remembrance in St. Paul, Minnesota, at the Capitol, remembering all the boarding school children and survivors. Right now we have indigenous roots Aztec dancers. They've been going for about 15 minutes now. This is Akichida with Unicorn Riot. We're gonna have a follow-up content coming soon, just to let everybody know.
Yes, let's acknowledge our relatives who came to celebrate healing with us in their movements. I loved hearing the children cry out when you're doing your back. I don't know what it's called officially, but they go, hey, I just, oh my gosh, my heart made me feel so good. It made me think of all of our indigenous children and the love that they bring and the reminding us of a future, a hope for a future. So thank you for being here and sharing your medicine with us. We really appreciate it. Our relatives from the South. Can we acknowledge them one more time, everyone, and thank them for being here with us. They're the Kapuli Yase Note Danza. All right. So at this time, we offered our gifts to our dancers and drummers. Did we do that, NAB staff? And I'm calling up Deb Parker one more time to bring us to a close of this wonderful, oh, now she's camera woman. So everybody does 4 things with it. So what a beautiful evening this has been, and thank you for coming out. And at this time, we'll hear from Deb, and then we will have a closing song, and then we'll be done.
Dear relatives, just want to once again thank you from the bottom of our hearts. This was a dream for so many of us to bring each and every one of you together and to honor those who never made it home from the boarding schools. And so tonight, we feel very blessed that this ground is now prayed upon and that we answered the call of our relatives. Thanks to our dancers, thanks to our singers, our drummers, thanks to our elders, and a special loving blessing to all of the boarding school survivors still with us here today. Thank you for caring. Yes, let's hear it for them, everyone. And on behalf of the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition, we'd like you to join us as we continue this work each and every day. You can volunteer. You can, send your prayers, your blessings, join us during events. Please help us pass our bill in the U.S. government so that the U.S. government acknowledges what has happened in the United States through our history, through modern day, and let's just bring that honor back to this nation. That's what we need. And tonight, I believe that you all helped us bring honor back to the state capitol here. So thank each and every one of you. In my language, it's Haichka Siam, Tigwit Seed, Pisha. Just thank you. I don't know, I'm at a loss for words right now, but this is for our relatives. And so as you leave tonight, we have some smudge if you'd like to smudge yourself, and if you have some water to dry your tears. Just know that we're here to help, love, and support you and uplift this work. And we're located in Minneapolis here, but our staff is across the nation. So we will continue this work with your prayers, and we will walk beside you. So once again, thank you so much. Haichka Siam.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you. Our fierce and awesome leader. So at this time, Joaquin and Thorne, please come forward. They're going to close us with a song. Here they are. Also, just have them say 1 minute each.
Almataki api Dayawa Chian Kapelo si Changhula Kota Kama Kochiki Mataha Minneapolis Ewatielo Tiwahe Gile Mitkawa Chantea Waglake Cha Oloan Washte Beatiki Wak Ukte. My name is Joaquin Lapointe. We're going to offer a song here. Mataki api Pum Pum Pumachapi Dayawa Chian Kapelo Low relatives, my Lakota name is Broken Leg. My English name is Thorn LaPointe. We want to offer a prayer, so we ask all our relatives, all our elders and children, and just the people of the community to be of one heart and one mind as we pray for this movement of healing. We acknowledge our boarding school survivors, and we pray for those who have yet to be found. So tonight, we pray for all those doing this good work. Even back home, we have the children, the Shichonku and the Oglala, leading that fight back home to search for our relatives as well. So this work is carrying on all across Turtle Island. So with that, relatives, we'll do this prayer for healing going forward, I hope. So for those of you who can, please stand with us.
Kashla wakanta kawana oyate ki oyankapo wakai jana oyate tkacha ehani unkiksi apikte unkiapo chadako otawashte unkik upikte chadako otawashte unkaka pikte unkiapo tokada ke washte unkaka pikte chalena washte unkiksi apikte nalena washte it's upikte cha tiwahina tiospre ki lena okiapo usilapo oyankapo Chante washte na tawachi washte on you ha pikte cha daya unko mani pikte onkiapo ha metaki yasi.
Oh.
Thank you, boys. Thank you, Thorn and Wakia and LaPointe. So I wanted to remind everyone that we did have you sign names on cards of your relatives or people that you know, and if you've not had it collected, place it out here as you leave on the table and we'll collect them. And what our relatives from the South have offered is they will take those cards and in a prayerful, sacred manner, return them into a fire, sacred fire, and say a prayer so that those will be released to the ancestors. So one more time, if you have that card with a name, you can place it out here on the table, and we will take good and sacred care of it. So this closes our event. We thank you for standing here in the cold. I really appreciate that. But you know, it makes us think about our people who came before us, what they lived through, what they suffered through. And we know right here in Minnesota how our relatives were marched on December 26th from here to Mankato is a long ways to walk without snow boots. Think of the strength that our relatives had. And so when we stand and we're a little uncomfortable, we can always ask for that help and it will come. But you honored our relatives today, so thank you for being here for that honoring. And we'll be here next year and honor again. Pilami Aye for being here today. Thank you so much.
So that concludes the event. I think I'll close out here. So that was a night of remembrance. A lot of talk of historical trauma and how these things affect generations. And it was a moment of healing, I'm sure, for the survivors. So you can check out more on unicornriot.ninja. Probably gonna do some follow-up coverage on boarding schools. This is Akichida. I found a spot to chill out at. Signing out.
Awesome, you made my night.
Yeah. I am the healthy one.
You are real special.
The building's not closed. Our last day deal.
So they have services at their remodel.
Not
Yeah.